Oh, well, hey there. It's jamithatsme here. Welcome back to my channel. We're about to go ahead and get into this review of Real Housewives of New Jersey. So, girl, let's go ahead and get right on into that thing, okay? Jennifer and Marge still over there arguing down to Teresa's house and her pool party, okay? So, they still going at it, and Jennifer says that her husband is the best, right? Now, this is after Miss Marge decided that she's gonna call Jennifer out and call out the fact that her man was up here cheating, girl. Do you hear what I say? Called her out about that, and then Jen had to correct her. Jennifer was like, oh no ma'am, if you're gonna talk about it, girl, you got to get it straight, okay? She was like a pharmaceutical rep or whatever, so she checked her on that, right? And you know, when Marge started snapping off on her, like, girl, at the end of the day, whatever it is, honey, you keep thinking that your man is that guy, okay? And Jennifer said, well, girl, I just want you to know that he is that guy, girl. I need you to understand that my husband is the best, and we're in a perfect place at the end of the day, in case you were wondering, okay? Marge still isn't over. Marge's issue is that she's still not over how Jennifer judged her based on the things that's happened in her past, as far as her sleeping her way up with the execs, as far as her cheating on her husband or whatever. So she's not over how Miss Jennifer judged her on last season or whenever, girl. So she's feeling away, okay? And Teresa is just confused because she's like, girl, what the fuck is going on? All right, so Jennifer says that the cheatation, when it comes down to it, the cheatation thing that you over here talking about when it comes to my man, girl, I need you to understand, I need you to know that it's old, okay? It's old. Go away from me with this because it's not something that I'm going to discuss, all right? So let's move on, right? Marge goes to talk to the other ladies about Jennifer, and she pretty much called her fake. Like, girl, she over there being fake, okay? You know her husband sat up there and had an affair, girl, and she confirmed. They said, girl, why? She confirmed it, girl. Yeah, she confirmed it. She had no choice because I dropped the bag on her. It's okay. So when I told her what it really was going on and what it was, then she decided that she was gonna, have to confirm it. She just came out and went along with it, girl. I guess I hit a button. You know, any other time she wasn't gonna talk about it. So that's with that. Now let me tell y'all something. I lied. I said I wasn't gonna go back and watch any previous seasons, girl. I lied. I think I'm on episode 9 or something like that of Real Housewives of New Jersey from last season. So I checked it out. That's what you get, Jen. Just a little bit, girl. That's what you get, because you at one point was over here researching, trying to get information on Miss Jackie's husband. Remember that? And then you confessed and confirmed that too. So now that somebody done switched it up on you and they done went and found some information about your man, now you want to sit up here and be crying, girl. What we crying for? Say what? Why we crying? You wasn't crying when you was doing all this the last time, but let's go ahead and scoot over. Let's move on, okay? So then Marge goes to talk to the ladies about Jennifer. No, I talked about that being fake. Jackie was shocked, okay? She was shocked that Marge mentioned it and the fact that Jennifer actually sat up here and she actually confirmed what was really going on, right? So then Dolores, right? Dolores, let me tell y'all something. I like me some Dolores, do you hear what I say, girl? I like me some Dolores, honey, girl. Dolores is nosy as hell, girl, and she is funny, and I feel like Dolores is an authentic person for the most part. So I really like Dolores. I had to go back and watch some of it. And I'm glad that I did, because I saw that the relationship she has with Frank so far, from what I have seen, y'all clue me in. I love when you guys clue me in. I think they have a really great uncommon relationship between an ex-husband and an ex-wife, and I like it. And it seems like they are more best friends than anything, very supportive of each other. So I really like that, and I like Dolores a lot. Okay, pretty much when it comes to Dolores, girl, she wanted the tea, girl. She needed to know the tea. She was asking her, like, girl, what had happened? What had happened, girl? Talk to me, tell me. So then Jen says that Marge wants to mess up a happy home. Okay, girl. So then, anyway, so Dolores puts 2 and 2 together and realizes that, oh, okay, so what you're saying is that, girl, your man had cheated. This is what you're telling me. Okay, then, girl. So okay, I'm here. I got you, girl. So basically what you're saying is your man had cheated, girl. I'm a woman. I understand. We here. We see each other. You ain't really got to say it, but girl, I'm figuring out what you're saying. But they both feel like if you get to a place within your marriage that you're going to be able to move past it and you're going to be able to forgive it, then it should not be something that's brought up, in the public. And I'm just like, Dolores, cut it out, girl. Cut it out. Somebody, if that's what happened and y'all moved past it, girl, y'all wasn't moving past it with Jackie last season when it came to Teresa and all this other stuff, her running her mouth over here at this man's birthday party down to the ground. How you gonna come to this man's celebration party for him and be telling everybody about the fact that you heard about him cheating? That was messed up, though, Teresa, girl, and I like you. But you was out of line, okay? So, yeah, it should not be brought up in public, but we're speaking on this group. Y'all always bring stuff up like that. But anyway, girl, let's keep going. So Bill checks on Jennifer, as he should have. Okay, go over there, scoot to your wife. Jennifer says she want to cry. She's like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be the reason why. Can we go? Because she's sad, right? So then he was like, okay, then, well, I mean, we could go. Like, you want to tell Teresa about it? She's like, no, I don't want to tell her nothing. I just want to go. Like, please, can we leave? And that's what she did. I thought Teresa was going to feel away about her just leaving and not saying bye, but she did it. So there's that, okay? Teresa goes and sit with her brother, and her daughter decides that she's going to join, okay? So, of course, they're talking about the issues that just took place, and Joe was just like, I like Bill, but his motherfucking wife, Jennifer, she is a whole mess, okay? Joe says that he almost didn't come because he doesn't want to be around nasty people, and I do feel like he considers Jennifer to be a nasty person, as well as the antics of his sister and his nieces, because he hasn't felt welcomed, okay, in the past few months, right? So she doesn't like, So I'm sorry, not she, but Melissa nor Joe really liked the fact that on last year, Jennifer called them some crooks. I probably would have felt the way about that too, girl, because we have businesses, girl, and you decided up here and called us some crooks. No, ma'am. Okay. So there's that. Gia starts speaking on her dad, because Joe was just saying, like, you shouldn't be able to say X, Y, and Z about people and all this other stuff. But Gia said, girl, you're right. You shouldn't. So let's talk about my daddy, because you also said things about my daddy. See, now the shoe is on the other foot, and you don't like that, right? You don't like that, right, Uncle? You don't. But then when it comes to my dad, you want to open up your mouth and you got so many things to say. I feel like that's disrespectful. Okay. So Joe says, Gia, come on. So he said, you got something to say, then go ahead and say it. Gia says, I'm gonna come. She said, if you're gonna come at me disrespectfully, then baby, we're not gonna have a conversation, right? So Joe is like, what? He gets upset. And I was kind of with Joe a little bit because I felt like, Gia, you're new to being an adult. And to me, I feel like you're still new to being an adult, because even if you live with your mama or whatever, I feel like, what, Gia 21, if that? So I still feel like, girl, you're new. Okay. And she's like, I'm grown now. I'm going to say what it is that I want to say. Right. So I kind of felt Joe on that. Like, girl, you need to calm down. I understand your dad is who he is to you, but that's who he is to you. Okay. That's not who he is to me. So if I don't like that mother, I said what it is that I said, and your daddy not going to run up. So what's up? So I definitely felt Joe on that. Okay. What else did I say? I said, Gia, you're new to being an adult, and now you want to snap off at your uncle over your trash and daddy. But again, that's your daddy, girl. That's your daddy that got your mama locked up and himself locked up and was highly disrespectful to your mama as a child. You witnessed all of this. But again, children love their parents. They go up for their parents no matter how out of line and how wrong they are. It is what it is, right? It's gonna take for her daddy to truly cross her, for her to see it in the way that Joe has. But I don't see Joe Judice actually doing that with his daughter. I think he has a completely different relationship with his kids, but whatever. So Joe asked her, like, girl, who raised you? Okay. So Melissa, she goes over to talk to Gia, right? So at this point, Joe don't walk out because he's like, I'm done. I'm not going to talk to this little Diddy Bob, like, disrespectful. Let me scoot over, right? So then Melissa goes over there and talks to her and says, your uncle loves you. He's just shocked that you would even come at him like that, because he looks at you as this or that, like you're his niece. He thinks so highly of you. You're amazing. And then Gia kind of laughs, I suppose. And Melissa said, Gia, if you're going to sit there and laugh at your uncle, like, that's messed up. And then Gia said, I'm not laughing at him. Don't get me frustrated. I said, who the hell? Who is Gia? See, that's y'all the problem as Italians and whatever else y'all got going on over there, girl. Y'all be sitting up here letting Gia think that she grown. I bet you for a minute, Gia probably thought she was grown when she was 11. Okay, somebody gonna have to check, girl. No, man, I wish I would sat up here and told one of my elders, don't get me frustrated, girl. I would have been all the way outside the door at this point. Do you hear me? Tell me something. Don't get me frustrated, girl. Who you talking to, little one? I don't care about you being 21, girl. You new to this. Okay, girl, you still can get these. If you 21, you can get these hands then. So what's up? Little girl, who you talking? Don't get me frustrated, okay? So anyway, no, she says, I'm not laughing, don't get me ticked off. That's what she said. But same thing, okay? So Gia out here giving me big bad wolf, and that's just really not who you are. But again, this is your family, so I guess you could talk. That's how y'all talk over there in that arena, honey. Anyway, so then she finally gets up. She goes to talk to her uncle. Okay, you can see that at this point, Joe is frustrated. Okay, he says, listen, I've been dealing with this BS for 20 years. I believe it. I'm sorry. I believe that Joe has been dealing with the BS for 20 years. As long as Joe Judice has been around, Joe has been dealing with the BS. But also, Joe, I feel like you give Joe Judice too much power. Okay, it's like you be feeling like, oh, he put my mom in the ground, he put her in the grave, this and that, he sent my sister to jail, da 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 da. I understand all of that, but also your sister was an active participant in that. All right. So whatever it was, it happened. It is what it is. Okay. Don't give him so much power. As far as your mom, maybe your mom did pass of a broken heart. It could have been because of him, but at the end of the day, the anger. Like when I was watching, when they had went to, I think Jersey Shore or something like that last season, and this was when Teresa had called Jackie's husband a cheater or whatever. So this conversation came out, and then Jackie called her out and said, "Oh no," I think Teresa said she had all this confidence or whatever, and Jackie said, "Oh, did you learn that because you was in jail? Did you learn it when you got in jail?" I hollered. Okay, so then Teresa gets upset, leaves, comes back downstairs, starts talking to her brother and getting upset with him and Melissa because she felt like they should have checked this woman. And I'm just like, Teresa, girl, why do they need to check her? Okay, when you done sat up here and then accused this lady husband of cheating or calling out his secret or whatever at this party, you was out of line, dear. So the brother started going off. He said my wife was in every right. Now this is from last season, and you know what? I'm glad I went back and watched last season, because how this season starts, you know, a lot of times with Housewives, at least for Atlanta, for me, it's like a brand new start. When this season started, to me, it didn't give brand new start. It literally gave a continuation. It was like last season was literally to be continued, continuation into the new season. So it really helped me as I went back to kind of like watch some of those episodes. But yeah, I was with Melissa and Joe, like, ma'am, you was out of line. And then the brother started to get even more and more and more and more and more upset. He's like, you always want somebody to have your back, but I have your back when it came to Joe Giudice. Then what did you do? Okay, you had me up here kissing your ass because you just did whatever it is you wanted to do. Okay, so I'm sick of that shit. So then the conversation went from the antics of Teresa and Jackie and him not having her back to him being upset with Joe. And when I tell you, he turned completely red, his entire body turned bloodshot red. And I was like, oh my God, he's really upset. The way he hit that table and everything. I'm like, baby, please don't stroke out and please don't have a heart attack. Like, it's not even worth it. Like, you giving Joe too much credit, too much power. Joe ain't even on American soil at this point, from my understanding. You still giving him too much energy. Okay, we're gonna have to move on in 2022, 2021, 2022. I hope that you've moved on by the end of this season. Hello, let's move on. Okay, so then Gia says, the same way you don't want anyone to talk about your parents, right? Because Joe started to go on a tangent about his parents and stuff and how he's always protected his sister and that's how his dad raised him and this and that and right? And that's when Gia gets into the conversation. It looked like she probably wanted to cry, but she was just saying, like, see how you talk about your parents? See, those are your parents. They're still my dad. Like, you don't want nobody saying anything about your parents, so don't say anything about my dad. Like, don't do that. So I think it was in that moment he understood. Okay. What else? I think Gia was about to walk off. Melissa came back and grabbed her. Gia wants him to move past the jail thing because her dad has to deal with a lot. She's like, you don't think that my dad is affected by the fact that he got my mom locked up? And then think about my sisters and how they have to deal with all of that. So they're dealing with the dad situation, not being here in America or wherever he's at. Then they got to deal with their mom having to be locked up and still dealing with the scrutiny of that. And then here it is, they got their uncle over here acting ass. Like, are you serious? Like, you got to think about something bigger than yourself. So Gia wasn't wrong in that. It was just that Gia was coming off a little too much for me because she was giving me, girl, you grown. You think you grown. You ain't grown. But anyway, so I kind of felt her on that. Okay. I said that I think Joe needs to find a way to let it go. Like, Joe Giudice needs to like worry about his own accountability. Okay, whatever he gonna have to deal with that. All right, that's gonna be in his heart for the rest of his life. But you started just giving him too much power. But let's go ahead and move on to Jennifer and Bill, because Jennifer has family over or something like that, girl, and she embarrassed by the argument that took place with Marge. Yeah, you embarrassed by the argument that took place with Marge because it happened on TV. Okay, so not everybody's going to see. But let's move on. So then Teresa and Dolores comes over. And of course, they talk about the infidelity issue. Jennifer says that it happened 10 years ago when she was pregnant with her son. She found out like a day before she gave birth. So she found out about it. She said she found out by way of a credit card receipt, a text message. She started asking him, are you in love with her? Like, do you want to be with her? Is this what it is? Like, what's really going on? And so he was like, no, he wanted to be with her. That she started getting angry, throwing stuff at him. Basically, she caused herself to go into labor. That's all I heard. Went into labor. And from that moment, she saw, I guess, that she wanted her family, and they just never talked about it again. So there's that. Yikes. I don't know. I feel like that was a difficult time. She ain't even telling us all of the tea about her situation, but I'm sure that was a difficult time for her, girl. I'm sure that was like, that's just not, y'all never talked about it again, even after you had this baby and you Okay, Jennifer, girl. Okay, Jen. All right. So then Teresa was asked in the confessional if she could see why what she said about Evan, which happens to be Jackie's husband, was wrong. And Teresa says, I think Teresa says no or something like that. And I'm like, Teresa, girl, you was wrong as fuck. Girl, you was wrong as hell to come to a party that you were invited to celebrate somebody, and then you walking around there spreading rumors about the person, and then want to sit up here and act like oblivious, like, who, me? I didn't do that. Yes, you did, girl. You was out of line. And if anybody would have did, and then that's the funny thing for me. You could go around, Teresa, at this lady's party talking about her husband, which is disrespectful as fuck. But when Luis come and he ain't even got that much of a dramatic situation, he over here caught on videotape apologizing to another woman with a bunch of his homeboys in the background. You don't even feel like he should be able to address that. That's not adding up. That's not making sense. But you can run around and say what you want to say at other folks' party, but your man don't. You don't want nobody talking about that. Soon as Dolores or Marge brought it up, you told him to respect your home, and he don't have to address anything. Okay, girl. And I was with you until I had to go back and catch a little bit of the last season, and then now I'm side eyeing you, Miss Teresa, girl. Okay, because that's not fair. But let's move on. So Dolores and Marge, okay, they talk about Jennifer. Okay, of course they do that conversation. Dolores tells her that she wasn't right. Okay, this is what Dolores is telling Marge, like, girl, you was not right to bring up that lady business. No, girl, I mean, it was cute, it was funny, but girl, you weren't supposed to do that. It's not cool. Okay, don't do that, right? So then Marge is like, but why not? Because she a hypocrite. Okay, I mean, what else was I supposed to say? Girl, she was being dead ass fake in my face, and that's one thing I don't like. I don't like when women be fake as if they ain't got no tea on themselves. Okay, so yeah, I gave you the tea that I gave you because I was open about my life, and you wasn't open about your life at all. If you want to walk around like you Miss Perfect, no, man, I'm gonna bust all the bubbles that you got. All right, so then Marge doesn't like Jen because she attacked her. Okay, she said she came for her mom. She tried to get in between she and Jackie at one point, and that Jennifer called Dolores' ex-husband. This is what Dolores was like. Ears perked up like, bro, she did what? So Jennifer called Dolores' ex-husband Frank to get some dirt on Evan, which happens to be Jackie's wife. But Marge says that she never told Jennifer about this situation. Messy. This is messy, okay? So Dolores is now bothered by the fact that Jennifer will go through such great lengths to get information on Jackie, and I would be bothered by that too, because it's like, if you went that far to get information on her, then what did you do to get information on all of us? Like, I don't like that. And then you also give me a person that probably like to compete with your friends and like to know that you got one up on somebody or something. Like, girl, it's something about you, Jen. Okay, but anyway, so Dolores tells her that she doesn't feel like she was wrong now that she has been told what she was really doing behind the scenes. And she was like, oh, okay, I got you, girl. And you weren't wrong. You were wrong. I take back what I said, girl. Do what you're gonna do, honey. Let's keep it going, right? So later on, we get Jackie and Jennifer. And you know what? I feel like for Dolores to be so quick with, oh, you wasn't wrong, makes me feel like she believed, like Jennifer must have shown herself up in this way for Dolores to automatically believe what it is Marge is saying. For her to just without even going back to fact check with Frank to make sure this was true, she just automatically believed her and said, oh, you wasn't wrong. So that says a lot to me about how Jennifer's character. It says a lot. She can hide behind the soft voice and the nose job and the cute face or whatever like that. But it's something, girl. We watching you, Miss Jen. We watching you, girl. But anyway, Jackie and Jennifer, right? So Jennifer invited Jackie over because they've made up after going through a similar situation, right? Last year, okay, with the whole situation with Evan and all this stuff, okay? So Jackie tells her that Marge told her on this, Jackie tells her that Marge told her about what happened, okay? She says that she never brought it up because she didn't want to hurt her or feel bad. Or so I don't even know what I put in my notes here. But anyway, Jackie says that, no. Jackie tells Jennifer that Marge told her about the affair like a year ago, but she never brought it up because of what happened to her. And she didn't want to be the cause of making another woman feel hurt in the process. You know what I'm saying? Because she can relate based on that, okay? But Jackie says that she wants to make sure that they won't try to tear marriages down. Like, okay, let's make a pact, girl. Like, do we see each other? I'm not gonna come for your marriage. You're not gonna come for mine. We're good, okay? But she turned around and followed up with that and said, but listen, though, I know we're not gonna come for each other marriage, but I'm gonna let you know right now, girl, I don't think Marge was wrong for coming for yours, though. I'm just a girl. I'm just telling you, I don't think she was wrong, honey, for coming for yours, girl. So hilarious. Jennifer says that, but you know, Teresa felt like she was wrong, and Dolores felt like she was wrong, and I felt ambushed or whatever. And you know, I haven't talked to anyone about my husband's infidelity because you know, look at my children. And I'm like, Jennifer, shut it up. Close it up and shut it up. You keep trying to make it seem like it's about those children, and it's not. It's about you being embarrassed. It's about you portraying an image of perfect life, perfect wife, perfect husband. Okay, all this other perfect stuff that you really ain't got, and that's okay because nobody's perfect. No situation is perfect. Maybe if you let your guard down and got a bit more vulnerable, the ladies will be able to connect with you a little bit more, right? But you out here just acting like everything is grand, honey, and we find out that it really ain't. And then now you want to try and put it off on your kids because if people don't have sympathy for you, they're gonna have sympathy for them children. But anyway, girl, let's move on. So Dolores and Marge, okay. I think this was at Marge's house, but Jen doesn't want to go to Marge's party or whatever she's having. I think like the tour of the townhome that she's in, right? She doesn't want to go, but Jennifer doesn't want to go to Dolores's home for like the the shower. I forgot what you call it when you go to somebody's housewarming, right? But she feels like she don't want Marge to feel like she impacted or has affected the friendship that she has with Dolores. So she's like, I'm gonna go. It's whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and go, right? So Marge arrives first, and she tells Dolores about Jennifer and Jackie having a sit down about regarding the incident or whatever, right? So they ended up talking, right? Dolores gives the girls a tour of the home. She comes. They ask about how David feels about her staying in this home. This is interesting to me because they asked her, how does David feel about you staying in your townhome and you're not staying in a house with him and this and that? And she says that she hasn't really seen much of him lately, right? Then she also says that if it came down to elevating and going to the next level with him, that she's not sure if that's something that she will want to do just yet. So basically what she's giving us is that everything is not great with her and David. Are we surprised? We should not be surprised because the medium told her on last season that whatever relationship she has, it's not going to last. Okay, the medium already gave her that information. She also said something about her probably getting sick or something like that. She told her last season, and I stopped on the episode around the time that she was having to sit down with Frank about her having to go get some testing or something like that, some medical work or something done, right? So the medium wasn't lying, baby. Okay, so there's that. I'm just waiting on her to officially break up with this man and stop sitting up here wasting her time. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay, who knows? She might get back with Frank, but we'll see. Anyway. What else we learned? Okay, they speak on Teresa and how he needs to and how they feel like Louis need to address the video. And Melissa lets them know that Teresa isn't really bothered by the video. She's just bothered by the fact that a lot of people don't see Louis as a perfect guy like she does. Okay, so that's an issue. Jennifer arrives late on purpose, girl. And soon as she walked in, she was hesitant. She didn't want to go around the corner into the kitchen to meet the other ladies. She wanted to stand off to the side, wanted to go and sit down. Like, Jennifer, you should have stayed at home instead of trying to prove a point. But I can't. Soon as she got in there, she was scared. She had to go sit down. I think Jackie pulled her to the side to have a sit down. Maybe it was Dolores, one of the two. She over there crying to them. Dolores is like, girl, why is you crying? What you crying for? Because you don't need to be crying because it really ain't that deep. What you crying for? Now, mind you, Dolores already know what she had been doing behind the scenes. So Dolores ain't got no sympathy for her at this point, okay? Dolores tells her there is no reason to cry primarily, and I told y'all about that. But anyway, Jennifer says that she doesn't want to fight with Marge, right? Because Marge come over there and say, what you crying for? What you crying about, girl? What is you crying about? And Jennifer said, well, I don't want to fight with you. Okay, I really don't. Marge said, well, girl, I don't want to fight with you either. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're a very hypocritical person. You've done very shady things, girl, okay? And I'm here to call you out, period, friend or not. All right? So then Jennifer says that everything that she has critiqued, listen to this, y'all. This is very important to me. Especially when it comes down to like me assessing Jennifer and her character. Jennifer says that everything that she has critiqued Marge on has been things that Marge has already been vocal about. You also had an opinion as well about the Evans situation. And then when a person was not giving out the information, you went to go find it so that you could be vocal about it and use it as ammunition should you need to. But here's the other thing for me. Jennifer, I don't know if I would want to be a friend of hers. Jennifer strikes me as a person at this time. This is my view of her at this time. Jennifer strikes me as a person where when you're open with her, she does exactly what she just did. take information that you've shared with them in confidence and then throw it back in their face without cause. And that right there for me is like IDK. Now keep in mind, this is how I'm feeling in this moment. I am going to continue to flip back and forth and check out the last season as I watch this season, and my thoughts of her could possibly change, but at this time, no, I'm not seeing it for Jennifer. But let's keep going, okay? And then the other thing for me is just you walking around all the time as though your life is perfect. Nothing, like not even giving people anything to where if they want to drag you, they can. Now I can see if it was a situation where you probably don't share a whole lot and you may take in a whole lot, but you also don't use that same information to throw in somebody's face. I do feel like that could be different, but it's the fact that you learn things about people and then you take it and you throw it in their face. Like, girl, I don't like that. I don't like that. But anyway, let's keep going. So Marge called out Jennifer about seeking out info on Jackie. Jen confessed that she spoke to Serena. Baby, this right here, I thought that Jackie was pretty far. Jackie wasn't far at all, but she heard her name come up. Jackie slithered right on over there to that couch and said, you said, why? Well, why is it? Well, why is it, Miss Ma'am? Okay, Jen said, I only spoke with Serena. You're a liar, Jennifer, because you just sat up here and when Marge called you out about talking to Frank, you said that you didn't talk to Frank. Then you turned around and said that you spoke to Frank in the confessional because you said something about you was on the phone with him about a deal or a listing or whatever it was, and then you said that he knew the girl. So Frank said he knew the girl, knew what she looked like. So because you happened to be on the phone with him, you wanted him to confirm more information, but you just sat up here and told Marge out the gate that you didn't talk to Frank. So it took Jackie to come over for you to confirm. So see, I don't like that, girl. Let's move on. But I do appreciate the fact that you admitted that you was nosy as hell, girl. Okay. But Marge, at the end of the day, also, your husband confirmed it too. And you damn near cussed him out, damn near knocked him out the table last year when he somewhat confirmed it. And the only reason why he took his words back a little bit or also slightly was because he didn't want to embarrass you or feel away or make you mad or something. And then for Jackie to come over there and start going off on last year, going off on Marge, talking about how her husband is this and her husband is that, and I don't want to be around you guys. So you understand? I don't want to be around you for the rest of my life. And I'm over here looking at the screen like, Jackie, why are you mad at them? Be mad at your husband, because had your husband never been out here doing anything, it would have gave nobody anything to talk about. All right. And the sad part is that we're not really arguing whether or not it's true. Right, whether or not it's true, I feel like it indeed happened. These men are confirming it, and it's not just one man; it's his friends that's confirming this information. So you need to go be pissed off with him. But anyway, girl. So what else? Jackie gets upset. Okay, she says, "I don't want y'all to talk about my husband no more, girl. Keep my husband out y'all mother mouth. Period. Okay, do not discuss him. Okay." She says, "As much as y'all have searched, y'all have not found anything on my husband." I said, "Girl, who?" Them lies, they over here being delicate with your feelings, but they definitely have information, okay? The guys have already confirmed it. Let's move on. Jennifer says, it was curiosity, but now when someone called out your marriage, no, I think maybe I wrote that. Jennifer says it was curiosity, but now when somebody calls out your marriage, now it's an issue, okay? Stop saying it's about your children, when honestly, it's about your embarrassment. That's what it's about, your public embarrassment. Let's keep going. Jennifer starts crying. Dolores tells her to cut it out. I'm with Dolores, girl, cut it out. Jennifer says, y'all think I'm weak for crying. Marge said, girl, we don't think you nothing, girl. Forget it, ma'am. Cut, control, alt, delete, girl. Let's move on. All right, so Teresa arrives and Dolores briefs her on everything about Marge and Jen, everything that happened. Okay, so Jennifer tells her, they tell her about Jen searching on details about Evan. And the girl that he cheated with. Now, keep in mind, Teresa is still Team Jennifer. The reason, this is what I think. The fact that Teresa had no response about her friends searching on information for Evan makes me believe that she knew about this girl searching on this information to begin with, right? So that Teresa is still Team Jen and asks whether Dolores sees that Marge was wrong. Dolores says no. Teresa says that was crossing the line. And I said, no, Teresa, what was crossing the line was you going to this man's party and start telling folks that he cheated on his wife. That crossed the line, girl. No, ma'am. Right. So Teresa goes to the ladies and asks, why were they upset with her about a rumor, but y'all blasted Jen at my particular party, and that's a fact. And I'm just like, I love what Jackie said. Jackie says it's because the issue was said, or the lie, the rumor, or whatever was said, the fact was said directly to Jennifer. When it came to my party, you didn't come to me and you didn't come to my husband. So that's what makes it different, bitch. You told everybody else before you told us. Let's be clear, right? And then Marge says that Jen has judged her for things that has happened to her in her own damn backyard. And I said, come on, Marge, I'm sorry, girl. You know, Marge, you know, I ain't really want to like you for real, girl. But when you're right, I'm going to have to say that you're right, girl. And I felt you on that for sure, okay? Jen at this point decided that she was going to leave, girl. She wanted to go ahead and skip out on the plug because she didn't want to deal with the BS no more. But either way, girl, good luck, okay? That's all that I have for Real Housewives of New Jersey, okay? I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.